Hey guys, Brian Hill with the Complete Combatant, and I know a lot of you are changing over the red dots, and welcome. It's a great piece of technology, but it's not intuitive at the beginning of training, and you've got to get some training with these. You've got to learn how to use them well. I've been fortunate enough to train with Scott Jelinski and one of his endorsed instructors now, and the red dot I think is the future. I think we're all going to be using it eventually. It's just a lot simpler. But vision is a complicated subject. And it doesn't work the same way for everybody. People see differently, and their brain processes information differently. It's something to think about it. But I get a lot of people that have shot for a while, and they've been taught front sight focus as well as they should have been. But now that's in direct conflict with using the dot, because the dot requires a target focus. You have got to be looking at the target to get the most benefit out of the dot. But our brain doesn't particularly like to do that, since we've trained it to accommodate to the front sight. It's very important to understand that you can't be looking at the dot and then shooting the target. That's not how this works. And what a lot of people end up doing is they're into using their iron sights and the dot, and they make it a 4-focal plane, and that's just an unwieldy beast, and you're not going to be able to do it. So let's try to find a better way to do it. We have to use stereoscopic vision. That means both channels of both eyes have to be working while we're looking at the target. I got to tell you, when I shot iron sights, I simply really didn't pay attention to the left eye, because if I did, I got doubling either at the backside or the target, because they were fighting for dominance, and wasn't very good. You also kind of have to relax your eyes with this, because what happens when you're accommodating is the dominant eye is in a straight line and the other one's tilted in. So in order to see right here, we're tilting it, we're squeezing the eyes together. It's kind of like those crazy stereograms you look at. If you look at it long enough and your eyes relax, you'll see another image. We've got to kind of get to that opening and our eyes relaxed so that your accommodation goes away. Here's a great way to practice. When we went through this with rifles and everybody was switching from iron sights to red dots, we used this drill a lot. And I got to admit, it's easier with a rifle because you have 4 points of contact. The pistol requires that you drive it to the point where your eyes are looking. If you're looking inside the pistol, like a lot of people do with the front sight, you're not going to be able to find the dot very easily. But if I look where I'm going to shoot and then I practice driving the pistol there, that'll help a lot. So what we're going to do is the occluded optic drill. And let's check our gun here, make sure it's empty and safe for everyone, physically and visually verified. You guys can take a look too. Tap rack train. All right. Now I've got some high-tech blue painter's tape that you can buy at Home Depot or anywhere else. Okay. And I use the painter's tape because it doesn't leave a residue on the lens. And I put it on the front of the window. So now what I'm going to practice is I'm going to look to a point on the camera and I'm going to drive the gun up. Now what I should be able to do is still see the camera and the dot. If I'm dot focused when I do this, say like I'm going to close my left eye, when I do this, all I will see is the blue tape and the red dot. Okay? If that's all you see every time you bring the gun up, no matter what you truly believe, and I know you're going to feel like you're looking at the target, you're looking at the dot. So you've got to learn to let your eyes go. So if you're having a real hard time, just sit here and relax and look through it. Look past it. Your eyes are going to shift back and forth. You'll find it hard to maintain, but eventually you'll just be able to see the target and the dot. And then practice pushing straight out here, driving it in. The dot should kind of drop in from the 12 o'clock position as we come out. So I have a little bit of roll down, and then I'm going to see the dot. But look where you want the dot to become, and that's where it should drive to. If that's not happening, then just start right here and work on it in that way. And this taped optic will help you learn to relax. It is going to take a lot of you months to get over looking at the front sight, because think of how hard you trained to do that. So now we've got to learn to look at the target. Okay? And this bit of tape drill can really help you. Now, if you're fishing for the dot on the draw, you have to improve your draw. The dot does not allow you to be as sloppy as you were with iron sights, because we could always kind of see the iron sights here, and then we can just kind of fix it on the way. I got to say that's kind of a suboptimal way to draw anyway. What I'd simply like to do is draw the gun to the point where I'm looking, and if the sights are correct, I press the shot off. If not, I make a slight correction and then I press the shot. But if I'm trying to fix it on the way to it, it's going to take me longer. And the coin of the realm in self-defense is always time. So anything that would make me faster would be better. Many of the world champions have admitted now to being target focused out to 50 yards, even with iron sights. We can use our vision in a multitude of ways. Brian Eno's talked about the 5 ways to use vision, from a very hard front sight focus to a complete target focus with just the shape of the gun in there. You can look in his book and see that. But let's learn to draw the gun to right where we're looking. So if I'm drawing from here, that dot should be right on the target. Now that time the dot was down and to the right because I pushed a little too hard. So what I'm going to do is just replay that in my head. And that time the dot was right where I wanted it to be. Now practice it in reverse as you go back. Put it back in the holster. Be safe with it. Look where you want it to go. Drive the dot straight out and look through. If all you're seeing is blue tape and no target, there's a bit of a problem. If you're standing really close like I am to the camera, it's hard not to just see the dot. Give yourself at least 10 feet, 15 feet so that you can see a little bit better, and it'll give you enough space. So I'm going to shift off to the side right here. I have a target back there. It's at 15 yards. So when I draw here, I have no problem seeing the target. I can look through it. But as soon as I said that, my eyes wanted to shift back to the tape and the dot. So what I do is just continue to relax and make sure that I'm looking through it each time. Train my eyes to be in a relaxed position so that I can see the target. I know it's not easy, guys. You're learning a new skill. New skill is never easy. The good news is if you'll spend the time and work on the dot, you're going to see more, because the dot truly reflects what's happening to the barrel of your gun, to the muzzle of your gun, how much it's moving. Sometimes we don't see that in iron sights. They appear to be solid and holding still. So you're going to learn to process more information. Whenever you press the trigger incorrectly, you're going to see it in the dot. Whenever you don't drive the gun to the target, you're going to see it in the dot. And it's going to teach you to be a better shooter. So the cost is you have to work a little harder up front, but the end result is you're going to have a much higher processing level with it. So welcome to the future. Welcome to working with dots. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, reach out, hit me up in the comments. I'm here. I'm going to be putting together quite a few of these things to help you get better with the dot. This is the taped or occluded optic drill. It's very useful for some people. Some of you are going to struggle with it. You're the ones that are going to need it the most. It is aggravating and frustrating until you learn to relax. So don't over try it, alphas. Relax, look through it, and see if you can do it. All right, Brian Hill with A Complete Combatant. As always, measure, refine, and perform.